XRP is the topic of discussion in this episode, as you are aware. I was unaware of it until now. Only 62 cents was the pricing, which was pretty close to the market price. Green is my color of choice over red, and I would like to see 66 cents. In the event that you were unable to see the first video of the day, you should give it a shot. Please careful attention because we have two aims in this area. Be sure to give this episode a listen. Individuals just prior to the occurrence of the big freaking breakout. However, we will discuss Bitcoin and the flow of its transactions. XRP being flipped by Ethereum, the comments that Brad Garling made on Ripple Bank, and the team that they are collaborating with in order to deploy this API service on Solana were quite relevant. Following that, we were informed that there was a whale in the area, so without further ado, let's take it easy and dive in. The value of Bitcoin 64 and Bitcoin 65 has increased by 1.47% over the past 24 hours. With a 1% rise, Ethereum is currently trading at $3,445. The USDC likewise reached a conclusion at $0.99. Even at the pinnacle of the bull run, the market has not increased by 12.85%, reaching $0.615. It is essential to bring to your attention the fact that the total market capitalization of cryptocurrencies currently stands at $2 trillion, which is equivalent to $389 billion for those who might not have become aware of this fact. I think it would be a good idea for you to verify the XRP figure right now. There are 6 different locations where the USB was flipped, and if you missed it, I am aware of 2 of them. That will be gone, and as a result, you will desire this very much because there are only about 6 of them left, and you will get 100,000 LDN tokens along with it. The Metaverse Marketplace and all of our planned web games will both make use of this token once it is available. In the latter part of this year, we intend to list it on an exchange, which will provide you the opportunity to engage in the market before the established players. It should be your primary emphasis, given that doing so will win you NFTs. You should make every effort to gather all of the coin for this item. My pledge is that I will handle the subject matter first when the first video comes to a close. For Canano, we are producing an event that is comparable to the XRP rally. Having said that, I am certain that you are aware of the significance of this term. This is a subject that I have already discussed. Therefore, there is no need for me to read the complete text. Not only have I already talked about this subject, but this post has also done so. Keep in mind that this is quite simple. First and foremost, ADA at all times. The all-time high for XRP is $3, which we will refer to using the $sign. Is it true that it hasn't altered much yet, considering that it is now at $2.80 off 8? There were barely about 30 pennies left. A total of 44 days or nearly 2 weeks had passed. Cardano can still be purchased at a very favorable price at this moment. Cardano was once something I detested, but I've now moved on from that feeling. Simply because I saw a $sign, I was compelled to purchase Cardano. Simply put, that is how easy it is. This post is going to be published by me. In spite of the fact that I have schedules for both today and tomorrow, Cordon folks, I am going to devote this time to you. In spite of the fact that the ADA is currently in a state of hibernation, I am certain that this era will be incredibly dull. This is true even if it were to achieve its peak once more. The year 2017 saw all of these cryptocurrencies hit new all-time highs, in contrast to the years 2020 and 2021, when 95% of the cryptocurrencies that we are looking at failed to reach their target price. In the interest of making the math simpler, let's call it 50 cents. What we have here is a 6x/5x ratio, which in my opinion is perfect for Bitcoin. Due to the fact that we adhere to the guaranteed bets, it is not worth it if you want to hit a 20 to 5100x. You are going to need to look into some D. The reason for this is that you obtain it from Gen. In contrast, you are investing only $100 as opposed to 5, 10, 15, or 20,000 of these D persons. If you have $100 to invest, do you put it all into one investment, or do you spread it out across several other investments? In the event that you hit 100x, how many $100 would you receive? Which of the following did you enter prior to hitting the 100x mark? In all honesty, I'm probably going to end up with a return of 10 times my initial investment, but I'm going to stay with my safer bets and aim for a return of 5%. Simply said, I am being honest and saying it like it is. Visit this location if you are interested in receiving Bitcoins. Increases in ETF inflows are occurring as anticipated. Because we are still in the early stages, we ought to have witnessed the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 6th waves of exchange-traded funds ETFs emerge from these institutions. Despite this, we are already aware that the institutions are embracing Bitcoin and Ethernet, which is something that continues to astound us, just a question of when it will happen. In the past, whether or not the vast majority of institutions would adopt these assets was the question that needed to be answered. When I first started working with these assets, they were on the point of being adopted. What is the question? Are the institutions going to arrive right away? When are they going to show up? While we are aware that they are on their way, you are already ahead of the institutions. To what extent will you continue to be alive? Could you draw the conclusion that there is most likely only one? The rapid increase in the value of XRP, which has the potential to revolutionize Ethereum, is currently taking place. Given that the current market worth of Ethereum is 407 XRP34, is it possible for us to reverse this trend? There is no question about that. I don't see any reason why we couldn't, and it wouldn't surprise me if XRP reversed Bitcoin at a moment when the cryptocurrency is set to collapse after achieving its parabolic blow off top and running out of steam, and money is beginning to rotate in XRP. I don't see any reason why we couldn't do that. When it comes to all cryptocurrencies, XRP is often the one that remains in the background. Thus, I wouldn't be surprised if it hit $20. XRP, on the other hand, needs to reach $20 in order for Bitcoin to correct to these levels. As one would anticipate, it is possible that we ought to focus on achieving a somewhat lower market capitalization. Reaching around $1 trillion is a need. There are still a lot of questions, despite the fact that I see it happening. Do you think the ruling class will allow it to take place? Listening to this clip from Fortune magazine, which is only 2 minutes long and features Barack. Garlinghouse is absolutely free of charge. The fact that such technology has become a political football is something that I find absolutely incredible as a young person who was up in Kansas. There is no reason for a Republican to hold office. Innovation is something that we ought to value, in contrast to the Democratic dynasty that has been in power. As a result of an increase in efficiency brought about by cost-cutting technology, I believe it is unfortunate that this topic has become political. There is no better illustration of this than Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren makes use of a campaign talking point that is shared by all champions of Bitcoin in order to critique things that are not true, such as unfavorable accents. Nevertheless, in light of the turbulent political climate that exists today, in which Republicans are in favor of Bitcoin and a significant number of Democrats are against it, I am optimistic that I will be able to present a plethora of knowledge. The reporter was the first person whose tweet I saw when I checked my inbox. My name is JJR. I would suppose that you are Jeff. John Roberts predicted that Trump will receive tens of thousands of votes in the upcoming election. On the other hand, Biden will not receive any because he is opposed to Bitcoin. I'm not entirely sure what he told me. In point of fact, there is a significant amount of support for Bitcoin, in spite of the fact that it is not logically sound. I comprehend the tweet and agree with it. A crypto roundtable was held in Washington, D.C., and it was organized by Representative Ruana Marxio of California. I believe that prominent Democrats are working to find a solution to the problem, and they participated in the roundtable. Around 25 persons were present. The group included Senators Mark Cuban of Utah and Jill Brand of New York, as well as Anita Dunn, who is employed by Joe Biden in her capacity as a direct employee of the vice president. I have the impression that prominent Democrats are aware that I might have been incorrect. Now I'll go on. One of the representatives was sitting across from me. The anonymous person, who stated that the primary purpose of their presence was to mop, went on to say that this was not accurate and that they had already investigated the matter. My belief is that the erroneous attitude originates from the idea that certain persons are pushing things that are patently untrue. The consequence of this is that they are required to educate themselves on the actual applications of cryptocurrency. Despite our repeated demands for clarity over the course of the previous 5 years, how many of the exceptionally talented actors working in this industry are making an effort to comply with the traffic laws? We would appreciate